Hi guys, if you're new to the Pocket 3 and you're wondering what the gimbal modes are and the differences between them, then I've got you. I'm going to explain the main modes, what they are, how they work, and all you need to do to start using them. And I'm going to explain 2 further modes, which are quite specialist, so 5 gimbal modes altogether. So first, how to actually change the gimbal mode. Now we need to swipe down from the top of the screen and then click on the bottom right. Then there's 3 gimbal modes to choose from. We just then need to click on the appropriate mode. So the first mode is the follow or the pan follow mode. Now in this mode, if I turn the camera to the left or to the right, then the camera will respond and slowly follow the movement, lagging behind slightly. Now it will also follow the tilt axis. So if I tilt the camera up or down, it's then going to follow this action. However, the rotation axis is locked, so if I try and twist the camera, the gimbal head will remain level, so it's not going to actually follow the movement. Now, when might this mode be useful? Well, in my experience, this is the mode that I use most often, as it allows most movements but also keeps the gimbal level. If I'm reaching out with my arm, I don't suddenly want to find that the gimbal starts twisting. So that is why it's probably the default mode and the first on the list. Now the next mode is the tilt locked mode. As the name suggests, this will lock the tilt axis, so it's going to stop the gimbal from tilting up or down, and it's also going to prevent the camera from rotating. So this will follow the motion, panning to the left or to the right, but trying to tilt the camera up or down, the gimbal is going to remain level. So this is also true for the rotation axis, so this will also be locked. So you'll find that this is the most restrictive mode out of all the 3 modes, so 2 axes are locked rather than just 1. This mode is useful whenever you want to keep the horizon level, for example maybe at a beach, and you don't want the horizon turning in your shot. It's also useful of course when you're doing a panning shot and you want to reveal the landscape, but you don't want the camera to tilt or twist. And now let's move on to the 3rd main mode, which is the FPV mode, or the first person mode. Now this is the least restrictive, unlocking all 3 axes. Now this will give total freedom for the camera to follow whatever motion you want to do, whether it's panning to the left or right, tilting up or down, or rotating. Now this mode is the most used for mimicking perhaps a drone flying and twisting and turning, or perhaps following fast action like some sports person dancing, skateboarding, or a dog running or a child running around like a lunatic or something like that. We then have a special mode which is hidden away as it's not available on the main gimbal mode selection screen. Now this special mode is called the gimbal locked mode and is activated by pressing and holding in the joystick, and you then see a little lock icon appear on the screen. Now it's only activated when holding down the button. When you let go, it's going to cancel the mode. So this mode will lock all 3 axes so that the camera is going to remain facing at whatever it was looking at before the mode was activated. So for example, if I turn the camera to this particular angle and then press and hold the joystick, it's not going to follow my motion left or right, up or down, or rotating. You may find afterwards that you need to double click the joystick to get it to return to center. So why would you want to lock the gimbal? Now this might be useful for locking onto a particular subject and then doing a sliding shot, or perhaps a pullback for example. Now I'm planning to have a number of videos explaining when to use the modes and what situations they might be useful for, with some practical examples. Now it's one thing to learn about the differences between the modes, but completely different to learn when to actually use them. Now that's one of the most difficult things to learn as a beginner, when to actually use the modes. But don't worry, I'm going to be doing all the teaching about this in the future videos, so hit that subscribe button so as not to miss out. Now the final mode of the Pocket 2 is the spin shot mode, when the camera can spin 90 degrees or 180 degrees. Again, it's not really obvious how to activate it, but click this icon on the left hand side and then scroll down until you see the spin shot mode. Choose 90 or 180 degrees, then tap on the icon and press the joystick to activate the mode. And then click on the icon for clockwise or anti-clockwise, and the camera is going to spin either 90 degrees or 180 degrees depending on which one you chose. Now this mode is more useful for doing anywhere you might like to do a sprint shot. For example, facing up at some trees. It's going to become a lot more easy now rather than trying to spin yourself around and then falling over in the process. But it also could be useful, for example, on these columns in the street or some situation like that. Okay, so there are the differences between each of the three main gimbal modes on the Pocket 3 and also two more specialist modes. So I hope this explanation is useful to you, and of course if you have any questions let me know in the comments. As I said, please follow the channel for future videos where I'm going to be demonstrating in actual real life when these gimbal modes are actually useful. I'm probably doing this next year once the spring weather actually improves. Until then, take care and I shall see you soon on another video.